The Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a law ratifying the reciprocal exchange of logistics support agreement with India. The RELOS agreement formally expands and also strengthens military cooperation between the two nations. And this comes after the agreement was ratified by both houses of the Russian parliament earlier in the month. The RELOS agreement establishes a framework for movement and deployment of the India-Russia military formations, and this includes enabling the docking of the warships in each other's ports, as well as the use of airspace and airfield infrastructure by the military aircraft from both countries for refueling, repair and maintenance. In addition, the RELOS agreement also covers logistical support during the joint exercises, training, humanitarian assistance, disaster relief and other mutually agreed activities. The RELOS agreement allows India to safeguard its Russian-origin military inventory, which constitutes nearly about 60% of the country's military equipment, including combat aircraft, helicopters and submarines. The RELOS reduces India's reliance on fragile banking channels and lowers exposure to sanctions triggering financial flows, and also providing a hedge against potential disruption. The pact also enhances India's operational flexibility and readiness, granting access to critical components and technical support without immediate payments. Furthermore, the RELOS agreement expands India's operational reach, enabling India's naval forces to secure Russian logistical support for long-range deployment. By signing RELOS, India has reinforced its strategic autonomy, balancing its relationship with Russia, the United States and the Western powers, while also preserving its defense cooperation with Moscow. Now, according to reports, the RELOS agreement is also expected to have a significant impact on India's logistics and defense cooperation landscape. Currently, India has an agreement with the United States, the Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, or the LMOA. Like RELOS, LMOA is also a functional military pact between India and the US that was inked in 2016. The Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement provides a mechanism for reciprocal access to military facilities between India and the United States, and its primary objective is to furnish logistical support, supplies and services for activities such as joint exercises, training, humanitarian assistance and also disaster relief. And this arrangement has significantly enhanced the interoperability and operational effectiveness of both militaries without establishing any fixed basing arrangements. So as India walks the tightrope between the United States and Russia, reports claim that rather than a replacement, Russia's RELOS is being seen as a complementary agreement to LMOA of the United States. While LMOA focuses on the Indo-Pacific and Indo-Indian Ocean regions, RELOS expands India's reach into Eurasia and Arctic zones, strengthening India's defense cooperation with Russia. According to reports, a RELOS agreement grants India military access to over 40 Russian air and naval bases. LMOA provides India access to the US military facilities globally. The Indian Army has displayed a drone that was apparently fired by Pakistan at Indian military installations and civilian settlements in the month of May during Operation Sindoor. The drone has now been deconstructed and it was put on display during the at-home event that was hosted by the Army Chiefs General Upendra Dwivedi on the eve of Vijay Diwas. Vijay Diwas is now celebrated on the 16th of December, marking India's victory in the 1971 India-Pakistan war. And one of those drones was a kamikaze or a suicide drone developed jointly by Turkey and Pakistan, and that was apparently used extensively by Pakistan during Operation Sindoor against India. However, almost all of these drones were shot down. The particular drone on display was shot down on the 10th of May, the final day of the 4-day conflict. And cyber experts from the Indian Army have since taken the drone apart and have analyzed its components, including the flight control system, to establish its origin and target. In response to the April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack, India launched Operation Sindoor on the 7th of May, carrying out airstrikes on the terror infrastructure within Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. And this was followed by 4 days of a war that ended with an understanding on stopping military actions following a ceasefire request. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.